We are back, and the Blue Jackets played their first game in Finland against the Avs. They have another one tomorrow. It's afternoon in the States, but in Finland it'll be 8 o'clock p.m., more of a night game there. But yeah, you can take the Blue Jackets out of the country, but you can't stop the Blue Jackets from playing Blue Jackets hockey just in a different country altogether in Finland. Another game, another loss by 3 goals in which they gave up a ton of goals themselves. It doesn't seem to be getting any better after their break. Look, some things did kind of improve, like the power play got a goal, so that's nice. A nice tip from Jake Voracek on a Patrick Laine shot. Hopefully that gets him going, but that power play number, while it isn't a big fat goose egg anymore, it's still pretty pathetic. Patrick Laine got going again. The goal on the power play was off of his shot, and he did get another goal in the game, although another Finn on the other team, I think it was Rantanen, he ended up getting a hat trick and Laine did not, so that's Kuraly and the fourth line getting a goal is nice. I feel like that was one of the more underrated aspects of the Blue Jackets last season, is that I do feel like every line was kind of every line could kind of score a little bit, and I feel like with Kuraly, Robinson, and Foudy, they're a bit more of an offensive threat, which I think makes more sense for this team than Kuraly, Robinson, Olivier. Again, I get why you get a guy like Olivier if you need some rough and toughness against tougher teams, but again, I feel like Matthew Olivier should probably usually be in the press box more often than not, and Liam Foudy should at least be playing. If you're not going to send him to Cleveland because you don't want to expose him to waivers, and you don't find him in the top, anywhere in the top 9, I guess the consolation prize is you play him on the fourth line. Hopefully he develops some chemistry with Robinson and Kuraly, and he did a nice work on their goal. So hopefully that fourth line gets going and they can pick up the slack when you're going through stretches like this where some of your top guys aren't scoring as much. Although, again, Patrick Laine had a goal and an assist that was pretty much a goal in this game. So it's not like he was, half-assing it in his home country or anything, which good for him for getting a couple shots on net or whatever, and a goal and an assist in his home country. That's awesome for him. I just wish the rest of the team would give us something to cheer about on this Finland trip. I'm sure they're having. I'm not saying they shouldn't have fun. I'm sure they're having a good time and team bonding. And again, the Avalanche are a very good team. They won the Stanley Cup again last year, obviously. But if the Blue Jackets were just able to notch together some wins against some of their lesser opponents, or just look at least competitive, then losing 6-3 to the defending Stanley Cup champions might not seem as much like a big deal. Maybe it wouldn't be with every loss. It just seems like one step closer to the seemingly inevitable firing of Brad Larson early on into the season. The Blue Jackets are now 3-8, and they're either in last place or they're very, very close to flirting with last place in the entire league, not just the really good Eastern Conference anymore, just the entire NHL in general. So I guess the Blue Jackets are the unexpected leader in the tanking for Bedard sweepstakes at this point. I mean, there's obviously time for them to turn it around and get to a respectable record and all that, but the Jackets, even if you didn't think they were going to be a playoff team or anything, they weren't supposed to look this horrid and this awful and this porous of a defense. It is every single game. Almost. I mean, again, the Rangers game is looking more and more like an anomaly and not, right, maybe the Rangers were just tired that day, I don't know. But, it's almost every game that the Jackets are, getting run out of the building, whatever building they're playing in, losing by 3 goals, giving up a tremendous amount of goals. Usually when you lose by 3, you're giving up a lot, but it's not like they're losing 3-0, maybe 4-1 games with an empty netter. This was 6-3. It was it's looking awful. They're doing this again tomorrow, so I guess if you split, these 2 games with the Stanley Cup defending champions, then I guess that's acceptable. But you combine this with the bad start early, and the record is just looking more and more like you're digging yourself a hole that you're not going to be able to dig yourself out of. I hope the Jackets show me something different, because these videos are just going to keep getting shorter and shorter as I just say, well, the formula is pretty much the same, but here's some kind of different things that happen, like a power play goal and Laine scoring and all that. So hopefully they give me something to work with here tomorrow and in the upcoming days forward, because again, they're not giving much to talk about as far as good things on the ice, and I don't want to be just talking about the same general overlay the entire game. The Avalanche showing that they're a dangerous team. I mean, that should be obvious if you're the defending Stanley Cup champions that you're a good team. But I feel like, again, the Blue Jackets just aren't looking coming up to play. And in the second period early, the Blue Jackets looked like they might pull off a comeback in 3-0. But again, I don't feel like I should be praising and rewarding oh, look, they put up a really good effort in the second when it is preceded by a terrible first period and then followed up by a third period in which you don't give us any hope to see a Blue Jackets win. So when you have a bad start and a bad finish, you have a good middle. I mean, that's fine, but that's not enough to get really any results. It's just a good period in my opinion. So thank you all for watching. If you did make it this far, please feel free to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video and like to see more like it, leave a comment down below if you have something to say, and I will see you at the next one.